Here's my hot take, and you can tell me if I am just a Bruins hater, but I don't think the Bruins are gonna make a lot of noise in this playoff coronavirus.
Dan,
in
you
Toronto.
ignorant slough.
Well, a lot of time off. I think a lot of different teams are getting healthy, and the Bruins were on a good momentum, and they lost it, or they might lose it. That's what the playoffs are all about. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get knocked out pretty early on. And that is my hot take, chamber take. And you can disagree with me. You're welcome to. But playoffs are all about momentum.
Name me a better trio than Chara, Bergeron, and Pasternak.
I mean, I can't.
All right, well, I'll allow it because you're my best friend, but that's the only reason why. And also because I'm gonna rub it in your stupid face.
Well, you're pissed because you're just a biased Bruins fan. You can't look at the Bruins objectively.
You shut your whore mouth. I can do whatever I want to do.
You know I'm right. He's laughing and being accusing, like, shut my whore mouth. You know I'm right.
Well, anyway, that's been this week's episode of the Packy Run podcast. We are never doing this again.
Bye-bye.
This is gonna be an interesting one, considering the fact that we had almost two straight days of seeing each other in person and never actually got around to doing anything.
That is true.
As far as the podcast, we fucked up.
Yeah. Did you see? There was a Bill Belichick sighting. Whoa, that's a little too. I'm a little loud there.
What was he eating?
He was eating Subway.
Fuck yeah.
He's doing a Subway ad.
Bill Belichick, the everyman. Welcome back to the Packy Run podcast. This is episode 14, and I am your host, AJ Lardembina.
Yeah, Jim Rice, number 14.
Is that your name? Are you Jim Rice?
Yeah, hi guys, I'm Jim Rice. I'm a Hall of Famer from the Red Sox, played in the 70s and 80s.
We are honored to have on the program today, not Jim Rice.
Yes, this is Dan Mayotte, your other co-host.
Dan Mayotte, everyone's favorite hottie.
Yes.
I'm sorry for that.
Unfortunately, we have something to tell you guys.
Why don't you start?
Well, we were supposed to record an episode in person. We had 2 bites of that apple.
And we fucked it up both times.
Yeah. So
there was supposed to be a reunion episode. I believe we teased it at the end of last episode, and
we did.
We were too busy. I mean, we were literally doing exactly what we would have been doing if we had been recording. We should have just set up microphones while we were sitting on my parents' back porch. But we're lazy and we're stupid.
Well, that's what your dad was saying. That's what Joe was saying.
Joe did say after you left the first time, and then he said it the next time that we were all together. My father was like, you guys should have just set up microphones. We were reunited with our friend Josh Lutz. We covered a lot of ground, too.
Yeah, we did.
We did, like, current events, general catching up. We started talking about the merits of investing in baseball cards. And
Which, by the way, at this very moment, I am watching a few auctions right now. Here's my hot investing tip if you're into baseball, basketball, football cards. Right now, I'm trying to get Zion Williamson's rookie cards because he's supposed to be the next superstar. That's what I'm trying to get right now. So, and it's a hot commodity.
You're playing the market, Stan.
I am. I mean,
have you gotten any significant returns on any of your investments?
Well, right now I haven't sold anything, so...
Oh, so you're just building up.
I'm building up, and then I'm just going to shove it out.
Tight. Yeah, I'm sure that's a strategy that some people would recognize. I know nothing about.
Yeah,
I know nothing about like stock trading or trading cards or anything like that.
Right now,
so.
I'm new to the game, so right now it's just like figuring out, like, seeing where it takes me.
Well, I mean, you are the idea guy. So if this works out for you, this could be huge. It'd be huge if true.
Right.
Or huge if profitable, rather.
So we didn't record an episode. Last week we talked about Patrick Mahomes and his contract. We talked about the Redskins and our proposed name changes, which at this point, it is confirmed that they are going to change their name. They don't have their names, but hey, Dan Snyder, owner of the Redskins, if you need any suggestions, we got you.
The Pack You Run Pod has your back.
We have your back on it. And if you want to listen to our stupid examples or our stupid meme jokes, name suggestions, you can listen to last week's episode and get an idea there. Let's start off this week. What are we drinking?
Well, this week I've discovered the joy of the hard seltzer, Dan. It's finally happened.
Wait, have you had hard seltzer before this?
I've had a couple of them before. I've never been particularly impressed, but I took a chance. Yesterday.
Okay.
I got home. I ran over to the Aldi down the street from me, and they had it's called Vista Bay Hard Seltzer, and I got a 6-pack of their Ruby Grapefruit Seltzer.
Okay.
And it's pretty good. It's not the first thing that I'd reach for. But for it was like $5 for a 6-pack or $6 for a 6-pack or something like that. It's good.
Would buy again.
It's got decent flavor. There's not much else to say about it. It's a decent seltzer.
I mean, I'm into the hard seltzers, because they're the thing that I think about beer is it's heavy, and especially when it's hot outside. I don't want how many calories are in one beer, and versus there's 90 calories in one of those. It's nice and light and refreshing.
Yeah, this one I got here is 100 calories and 5% alcohol.
That's not bad. I mean,
these are crushable for sure.
Oh yeah. This week I am enjoying a Narragansett Fresh Catch.
I have had that once before and I forgot what it was like. So give us your review because I need to know whether or not it's worth hunting down here in Nashville.
It's good. I mean, it's better than the typical Narragansett, I would say. It's kind of like your typical New England lager, IPA, ale. So I would recommend if you see it at the Packy store, give it a try.
There you go. I almost got a 6-pack while I was staying at my parents' house and decided to go with whatever Sam Adams variety pack I got and some harpoons, stuff like that.
The Sam Adams, I mean, I've had all of the ones in there except for the Fenway one. And I tried the Fenway one and it tastes like a beer that I would get at Fenway Park.
It's just a nice summer IPA, not super aggressive on the hops, but still,
The best one from that box though would probably be the Porch Rocker though.
Yeah, the Porch Rocker, it's got that nice it's got that juicy sweetness to it.
Yeah.
And
what
really
we're talking about, folks, is what is it, a New England?
Yeah. So if you go to your local, grocery store, Packy, wherever, they'll probably have the 12-pack of bottles, which is the Sam's Beers of Summer, which is well worth the money. But if you are in New England, you can get a 12-pack of cans that is the Fenway Favorites pack, which is almost the same as the Beers of Summer, except instead of the Sam Adams Porch Rocker, you get a Sam Adams Fenway IPA.
I thought Porch Rocker was in there. I thought that's what maybe I mistook it. I thought I saw it in your fridge.
Nah, they have like 3 or 4 different summer packs. So there's a bunch of different options, especially in the New England area. Some of the variety packs are only available where they can be delivered by Sam Adams themselves instead of just relying on all the reps and whatever else.
Right. Yeah.
Sam Adams, sponsor us.
Yeah. Seriously. Like that would
I
be.
want that to be our first. I want that to be our first sponsor. We should.
That would be a fantastic one. Let me see. Going into our show, did you hear that the Patriots cleared a little over $7 million in cap room?
So on my ride, my father graciously drove me up to Logan Airport yesterday afternoon, yesterday being Monday. And on the ride in, we were listening to WEEI, and they touched a little bit on some of the like social changes that are going to be coming to the Patriots with Cam Newton on board, and then they followed that up. They followed that up by talking about a decent chunk of cap space and what that means for our hometown team.
Yeah, and there are some rumors floating around that like we might be adding Jadeveon Clowney, who I think. I mean, like, I would welcome him. I think that would be a decent move. Who did the Patriots get rid of as far as cap goes? They got rid of... I know that they got rid of Aaron Hernandez and also Antonio Brown, but there might have been someone else on that list.
I think they renegotiated a couple of contracts. They finally cleared up the Aaron Hernandez kind of kerfuffle, and they figured out the Antonio Brown situation. So we ended up with, I believe they said, just shy of $10 million in cap space.
Which that's a lot. Like there's a lot of things that we can do that with.
I think the rumors have been going for at least a week now about Clowney, which is usually a pretty good indicator of, where the organization is at and what might actually be happening.
Right.
Usually when the rumor mill is going this strong when it comes to the Patriots, there's reasons for it. So I can see us doing something with him, especially if they end up being able to get kind of a sweetheart deal the same way they did with Cam Newton. But other than that, I think the smarter move is to really take some time, wait and see when and if the season starts. We are going to need some of that space to move because the roster that you have at the beginning of a season is not necessarily the roster that you have or need midway through.
Right, absolutely.
We need to leave those options open for trades and adjustments as the potential season kind of plays out.
I mean, right now I'm looking at the 50 best free agents on the market as of right now. And I mean, obviously they're all veterans. They're all older guys. Clowney is notable because 27, that's still relatively young by NFL standards at least. But for the most part, it's a lot of older, veteran guys, which I've been saying for a while. I've wanted the Patriots to go younger and younger and younger and not... They have this weird tendency to always go for veterans, but I get it with the veterans. They always provide that stability and leadership, especially helping out some of the younger guys. But $10 million is huge. I would agree with the assessment that they should just hold off on whether they should spend that money. There's also a rumor going around that Odell Beckham going to the Patriots as well.
So that's the Odell Beckham Jr. is the antithesis of what I literally just said, where there have been rumors about Odell Beckham coming to the Patriots for how many years? He wanted to work with Brady.
This has been off and on for a couple of years now at this point. And especially
4 or 5 years at this point. Yeah.
Well, and he was working out with Cam all this off season.
Yeah.
He's been working out with Cam they know each other. There is some rapport there, which
and
that's
he's with
important.
The Browns right now, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it makes. I wouldn't hold my breath for it, but it would make complete sense for that guy to have dealt. Or how long has he been with the Browns now? A year, 2 years?
It's been a year at this point. Last year was his first year.
after the absolute shit show that the Browns had this past year.
I mean, the Browns
And,
have been a
like-
shit show since they came back.
Well, that's true, but even with like, especially with Baker Mayfield just being Baker Mayfield, like you can absolutely see why Odell Beckham would look at his quarterback, and even with almost an entirely new coaching staff, you can absolutely see why he would kind of look at where he's at and then look over at the Patriots and be like, quarterback I have a better rapport with, and the greatest coach of all time. Yes, please.
My only thing with Odell is, I mean, he is not like Antonio Brown with like the diva stuff, but he is kind of close to it.
But I would say I've heard, honestly, I heard more flack directed at Cam Newton over the years than I heard
Really?
directed at than I ever heard directed at Odell Beckham. It always seemed like Odell was just kind of like, you know, anytime you heard about him complaining or you heard about like kind of the diva things, it was I didn't personally hear a lot of it, and when I did hear it, it was like, yeah, he's playing for Eli Manning, who is like the number one most overrated player to ever have played in the NFL.
And that's not even a hot take. And like,
I'm not even in the hot tip. I'm not even in the hot take chamber for that one. Yes, he has 2 rings. Yes, both of those rings are at the expense of the Patriots. But oh my God, what a horrific quarterback.
I mean, like there's a debate there, like whether he's a Hall of Famer or not.
I would say no, and that's not.
I say no.
That's me trying. Like I am trying my best to put my like Patriots hat to the side there. Like I'm trying to be as unbiased as I can. Literally, just look at his actual athleticism. Look at the way his body moves. Look at his command or lack of command of his team. Like that dude's a joke, and he won 2 Super Bowls both on a fluke. And like, great for him, great for the Giants. But Eli Manning he's not good.
Right. Yeah. I would definitely agree with that assessment right there. But like, my thing is like, who would they even trade in that situation, or like what would you want to give up?
Yeah, that becomes a whole mess.
Like, I wouldn't want to give up a first round pick. I'd want to give up like, and the Browns would never accept this, I would want to give up maybe like a 3rd or a 4th round pick. Obviously Odell is a very talented wide receiver, but he also has had like a couple down years at this point. I mean, the Browns would never accept a 3rd or 4th round pick.
But I wouldn't be entirely shocked to maybe watch another Antonio Brown situation kind of materialize.
I mean, Antonio Brown has he had a lot of things against him. He has a lot of...
Yeah, he had a lot of moments and stuff like that.
Not even just on the Patriots or the Raiders, but like there were a lot of moments with the Steelers that like it was like what the fuck moments.
But there's also, I think that there is a solid argument to be made that, like, maybe not so much with him getting let go by the Steelers. It wouldn't shock me, but I don't think that that's the case. But the whole debacle with the Raiders, I think Belichick was in on it the entire time. I think that Antonio Brown knew that he didn't want to work for the Raiders organization, and he had no actual plans of being part of that team. I think he kind of maneuvered his way out so that he could get, where he really wanted to go. And I would not be shocked, not to that extent, not to the whole big dramatic, blowout extent that Antonio Brown did, but I wouldn't be shocked to see Odell Beckham Jr. make some sort of move to get himself free so that Belichick could come in and scoop him up and just continue to bolster this team that everybody said was dead in the water 3 months ago.
Right.
Like, that is just so much of what we have seen. So much of what we have seen this summer and basically since the offseason started has just been so quintessential Belichick. Where we've
seen it multiple times. Like,
we've seen it so many times over the course of how many years where it's just like, well, is the Patriots dynasty over? This thing changed, that thing changed. Obviously, now it's like, well, Brady's gone. What are they going to do? And then, of course, we go and get ourselves an elite quarterback. And, again, this roster that everybody had written off 3 months ago is now all of a sudden on the sports talk shows in the Super Bowl conversation, which again, we've talked about it. We think that's premature.
That's so premature. Like, people have said like, oh, Cam Newton's going to be the starter, obviously, but like, Who even knows at this point we're going to have a season?
Well, that's actually an interesting point that you just brought up. Cam got signed.
Right.
And everybody and their grandmother that pays attention to New England football anointed him the starter right off the bat. He's an elite quarterback. He's had MVP years. He's had all this history with the Panthers. Like, everybody just assumed that, well, we signed this guy, so he's our starter, right?
Right.
But he's not. And it's been made very clear just by general Patriots history and also by the fact that we still have Jarrett Stidham and Brian Hoyer. Like,
and two other quarterbacks as well.
And the two other kids that were undrafted, right?
Which I wouldn't be surprised if one of them turned into like a Julian Edelman type and converted to wide receiver. Because that's what Edelman was a quarterback when he was in college.
Quarterback at Kent State, which is amazing considering the fact that kid's shorter than both of us. I say that kid as if I'm not talking about an almost 40-year-old man.
Yeah. Well, he's not 40. He's like 32, 33.
Still closer to 40 than we are. But he's shorter than both of us. But the point that I was making was people have already anointed Cam the starter, and he got a peanuts contract. And he got a peanuts contract while the Patriots had zero in cap space, essentially. So now all of a sudden we've got this extra room to move. And how do you think Cam Newton's feeling right now, looking at the fact that, like, oh man, now all of a sudden the team that I signed with has way more in cap space, and what happens if we go and we sign Clowney or we sign somebody else and they're making objectively more money than him? Like, does that become a point of contention? Is that a really hard like introduction to the Patriots way for this kid to get signed like that?
That's tough, and I think that's a tough thing to. I mentioned it last week, especially with the Pat Mahomes contract. When he got all that money, like, what did that mean for like Cam Newton and what we were going to have to potentially pay him next year?
Well, that move kind of reverberates throughout the entire NFL. I think every quarterback.
Yeah, it does.
I think every quarterback that's kind of worth a damn is now kind of looking at their organizations and going, well, where's my payday?
But every organization is going to be like, well, you're not Pat Mahomes, which that's a fair thing to say.
I think every organization except for one really has a leg to stand on in that regard. The Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
Baltimore Ravens, I think Lamar Jackson, if he had a consistent year last year, faltered a little bit in the playoffs, but still, essentially wiped the floor with Tom Brady's Patriots.
He got MVP unanimously last year. You know how difficult that is to do? Every single voter voting for you.
Yeah, so...
no one else getting consideration.
There's pretty much every quarterback in the NFL is probably looking at their teams and being like, well, I want my payday. And every team is looking at their quarterback and going, well, you go do that and we'll talk. And the only team that might be willing to have that conversation would be the Baltimore Ravens. If we have a season this year and Lamar Jackson kind of comes through on all the promise that he had this past season, I could see Baltimore doing something similar.
Yeah, but I wanted to finish this point. Like, I think Cam getting paid so low, he gets paid like $7 million in incentives. I think it's just all about motivating him.
I think that's probably the biggest thing is that,
he wants to get paid. But he's made so much money in his career already. He has so many sponsorships, so many things. Like, I think part of the reason why he wanted to go to New England, or like why he signed with us, is because he wants to win. When he lost that Super Bowl against the Broncos, like, you could see the pain that he had. He was like, he wanted to win so badly, and like, he wants to prove all the critics wrong. He hasn't been healthy in like 2+ years. He's motivated. I think that is enough motivation. And I think he's going to, if there is a season, which, as of right now with the NFL, there's been talk about like the stadiums are going to be at 20% capacity. Did you hear about that?
I heard a little bit about that. I mean, that's a step in the right direction, but again, so being in Massachusetts for 4 or 5 days, like there was a lot of kind of openness, but there were a lot of people, obviously there are outliers, but there were a lot of people that were just being smart. Like even people just walking down the street in downtown Plymouth were largely wearing masks, right? Like, so Massachusetts is a little bit of an outlier. The rest of this country is not taking this nearly as seriously, I would argue, and they do not.
I would say that, yeah.
And I would also argue that the leadership of a lot of different states is not nearly as put together and open and decisive as the Massachusetts state government. So I have, as things stand right now on July 14th, 2020, I have a hard time believing we're going to see, NFL games this year. At least NFL games in the way that we're used to seeing them.
Yeah. I mean, who knows?
It's anybody's guess at this point, my dude.
I hope there's football, but I mean, at least there's NBA coming back. There's hockey coming back. We got baseball coming back on the 24th.
Well, we covered this a little bit last week too. I mean, the Red Sox have already seen COVID positive players. Like there's a real risk for a lot of these sports because they're just so full on with the contact and everything. And football being probably the most contact heavy of all of them.
Yeah. Well, I did see
that's scary.
I saw one thing that they were proposing that was like, it was like on like a helmet, they have like the face, like they have like a face guard, like a face mask for the mouth as well.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing is just going to be plexiglass with like the thing around their mouth or whatever, or around their helmet.
I could see maybe something like that. But
hockey,
even then,
they can still play with like a mask on and like, I mean, be protected and not like be breathing on each other.
Well, as I was talking to my dad about this, I've said this like 6 times already this episode. I think this might be called the Joe episode because we just keep talking about my dad.
The one about Joe.
The one about Joe. So now it's a Friends episode. Fantastic. Stop. I was telling him, the only national sport that makes sense to be playing right here, right now, to me is hockey. Like the NHL coming back makes perfect sense because they are already so padded up and so covered over their entire body. They're all wearing the visors already. Slap some masks on them and, you're good to go. There isn't, besides Brad Marchand going around licking people, there isn't a lot of exchange. Yeah. There isn't a lot of exchange of like bodily fluids, of sweat, of spit, of anything. As opposed to like a pig pile in football or how many different people touch a baseball in the MLB.
Or basketball. I mean, like...
Yeah, exactly.
My Brooklyn Nets, like...
It hurts me to hear you call them that.
My Brooklyn Nets. Well, like, they are my Brooklyn Nets. And so, like, there are like 14 people on a roster for basketball. Or something like that, maybe 15. 7 of them are out. So we've been signing players left and right out of free agency for that. Like we already had a bunch of people that were already out because of injuries, but now it's like COVID related or like they just don't want to be put at risk, which I don't blame them, but like damn, I'm going to be watching Brooklyn Nets basketball and it's going to be like, "Oh, who are you?"
Yeah, I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of that with professional sports, or at least the next year. I think there's going to be a lot of turnover and a lot of people that aren't comfortable playing under these conditions and a lot of people that end up getting infected. That's kind of going to fuck up, a lot of this stuff.
I mean, and like, you can't blame them. I mean, They have to go back to their family and they have their own lives and everything like that. Like, why put others at risk? Especially when a lot of people in your sport have like tested positive.
Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of similar to, I mean, anybody. That's not just exclusive to sports. That's literally anybody. That was one of my biggest kind of hurdles over going home. And now I've got both of my parents kind of begging me to come back up because my place of work has shut down again until further notice because of increasing outbreaks down here in Tennessee. But it's really difficult to justify. It was difficult in the first place to justify going home this past weekend.
Right.
Because, you know, getting on a plane, being on an enclosed space like that, technically, I really should have been quarantined for 2 weeks. I shouldn't have really been around anybody.
Yeah.
But the whole point of going up was being able to go and see people. So I really took it seriously, you know, wiping down stuff and making sure that I wasn't coming into contact with anything. I had my arms folded across my chest the entire flight back and forth. You know, it's difficult to justify putting yourself and thereby putting others in harm's way of this whole thing.
Right.
It's a crazy time to be alive, man.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Especially
But flip
moving in
side-
this.
Yeah, when is that happening? You're going back home. You're going to Boston.
Yeah,
Or
I don't
Brighton,
think
rather.
I don't think I've announced this. Yeah, I'm moving at least out of Brooklyn for a year. I'm moving to Brighton.
When does that lease start?
That starts in September. So,
Hot dog.
still gonna be a Nets fan. Still gonna be an Islanders fan.
Like the bitch you are. Traitorous heathen.
Hate me. Hate me.
Usually I encourage other people to fight you on Twitter, but now I'm the one who's going to be fighting you on Twitter.
Well, you want to know what's great about the Islanders? The New York Islanders? They have a dog. They have multiple dogs. The Bruins don't have dogs that go
We
to their
have bears.
games. You don't have cute little puppies.
We have bears and weirdos that get onto nationally syndicated sports shows.
Hold on. Let me just give you. I am going to send you a pic. I'm going to send you a pic of the Islanders pups, and you cannot tell me that they're not cute.
I'm sure they're adorable. And as much as I love little puppy kisses, as much as I love puppies licking my face, I enjoy watching Brad Marchand lick other people's faces more. Fenway, my puppy, if you're listening to this, I didn't mean that. I still love you the most. Or
Sure.
Pugsley, as our friend Brad calls him.
Aw.
Which he responds to all these years later. How insane is that?
That's awesome.
Are you sending me pictures?
I mean, I'm sending you the Instagram at least.
I hate this.
Like, you can't tell me that dog is not cute. And also, for all the people out there, I was curious. There was one day during quarantine that I was very, I was like, it was out of curiosity if like other teams had puppies. And there are several NHL teams that have dogs. And also, it's a Reddit thread, and it's with players' dogs as well. And yes, several players, especially Bruins players, have dog accounts for their dogs.
The listeners at home can't see it, but I am shaking my head
Just
at you.
just look up NHL dogs when you get a chance. It is beautiful.
I'd rather just look at the dogs themselves.
No, I mean, like, I gotta send you this thread now. This is going off the rails.
You're sending me pictures of dogs. Our friend Justin has sent me. Dan, do you remember Carl Weiser?
Come on. Is Pope Catholic? Are cops not racist?
Justin
Are cops
Poole
racist?
Yes. Justin Poole, our dear friend and former roommate, has been sending me nonstop Carl Weiser memes and TikToks, including Star Wars related ones. And I got him back with a video of Carl Weiser singing Fireflies by Owl City.
Oh
And
my! You gotta send that to me.
That's an indication of
Or
the mental
or
state.
You gotta send it to Justine.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she'd get a kick out of that for sure.
She would, and I just sent you.
But that's an indication of the mental state here at the Packy Run now that we are back to being quarantined and trying to figure out how to fill our days.
I mean, that's all you can do at this point.
It's the meme. I don't think anybody knew how important meme culture was going to be until right about now.
I mean, everyone's bored at this point. Everyone has to do something.
That's not a bad idea for a future episode, though. We should do meme reviews. We should do an episode of meme reviews.
You see, the thing is, we would need to do this on a video. We can't do this just audio. We would have to do like an actual like video podcast for that, just so like people at home have that visual.
Well, I realized a couple of days ago that our lovely hosting platform, Anchor, distributes our podcast wherever you can get your podcasts.
Really?
But they do not distribute to YouTube.
Interesting.
So I think at some point we might have to put together and start uploading to a Packy Run Podcast YouTube channel.
I think that can be arranged. We can definitely do that. Listeners at home, would you be interested in that? And would you want to watch it and watch our ugly faces? Nah, not our ugly faces. Let's speak
for yourself, dude.
Let's be frank. We're handsome.
We are fucking gorgeous.
You want to know why? Because I do a skincare routine.
I forgot that was your recommendation from last week, and
that was my recommendation last week.
I still don't know how to deal with that.
Why?
Dude, do what you got to do. Feel good about yourself. Treat yourself. Whatever. If you have a skincare routine, fucking awesome. It came out of left field, though. It was the last thing I was expecting you to recommend at the end of this podcast. Was like,
what? I can't be interested in
my skincare routine.
What? I can't be interested in skincare and baseball cards and punk music.
You can do whatever you want because you're Dan Mayotte.
Yeah, I'm a goddamn American. It's my God-given American right. Know how someone could definitely take that out of the wrong way, and for whatever reason, I sound like one of those gun-toting Republicans saying like it's my God-given right.
I'm an American. I've got American blood coursing through my veins. I like to have children.
I like to eat.
We're watching Dan become Alex Jones just week after week after week. Or we're listening to Dan become Alex Jones. When we start selling you brain pills, like brain supplements, I really, truly in the bottom of my heart hope that when we start selling you those kind of things, you stop listening to us.
Wasn't he like bodybuilder at one point? Wasn't that where he got his start?
He doesn't look like it.
Well, he doesn't. I mean, the thing is,
toad-looking motherfucker.
I mean, if you look at a lot of bodybuilders, they don't look like they're just. I don't know, like.
Oh, it's undeniable that most bodybuilders just look like thick boys. But,
yeah, they just look thick and they look kind of chubby, but they're not chubby. They're like they can literally snap you in half.
But Alex Jones just looks like he's in the middle of a brain aneurysm all day, every day. He does not look well.
I wonder what he does at this point now that he has been but he has been deplatformed from everything.
I don't care. That's the funny thing about some people like that. Like, when you reach that level of idiocy, when you reach that level of just being an objectively terrible person, Alex Jones exists in my mind in the same realm as like Ted Bundy or Whitey Bulger or Jeffrey Epstein. Like, I could give a damn whether you live or die. Like, you are an objectively terrible person.
Yeah.
And again, we're not even going into the hot take chamber for that one.
That's
just bad people. Like, that's not ignorance. Like, when it comes to racism or just, the spreading of lies and things like that, there's, a lot of it is just rooted in biases and misinformation and just overall ignorance.
But to play devil's advocate here, like, isn't he allowed to have his First Amendment right? Isn't that stripping away his First Amendment right? I mean, like, I agree with you, but like, I'm just playing devil's advocate in this moment.
No, I think so. I don't think it's I don't think it's stripping of his First Amendment right for these reasons. Going onto Twitter, going onto Facebook, going onto YouTube, things like that. Yes, those are public platforms. And yes, that I believe that the internet as a whole is a public utility and should be treated as such. It is your American right to be able to use the internet and to be able to put out onto the internet what you want.
Right.
What you want to put out on there, right?
Yeah.
But on the internet, there are specific platforms and there are places that do you the service of letting you use that utility. So you have your Facebook, you have your Twitter, you have your Instagram, things like that. And because of a great many people's choices and things like that, those are the platforms that people use as their soapbox.
Yeah.
But those platforms, the Instagrams, the Twitters, the everything else, they do not have to host things that they don't agree with. It's not stripping away Alex Jones's First Amendment right for Twitter or for YouTube or for Facebook to turn around and go, we don't want you lying on our platform. Right. Now I understand that the flip side of that is that yes, it is a slippery slope.
It is.
when those platforms are so ubiquitous and have operated in such an unregulated way for so long. Yeah, it becomes a really slippery slope of, well, this person is frankly they're just lying. They're not telling the truth. They are spreading false information for their own gain and for other people's gain. And a lot of that gain comes in the way of money, right? There is, it makes sense. It's always so difficult.
I agree with you. I mean, because Alex Jones, he was spreading these conspiracy-like theories across the board, with the whole Pizzagate and a lot of other things. I forget.
Did actual tangible damage to people?
Yeah, he did
by spreading the just horse shit that he was spreading.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and it is a slippery slope, and I do think some platforms have done this and have been. There has been a lot of things that have definitely been silencing conservative type of opinions, and I don't think those should be silenced. I think those should be met the same way as liberal views.
It should be met with an equal and opposite reaction. Yes,
right.
But
we shouldn't be silencing either one.
But we should be. So we should be silencing, or at least attempting to silence,
the crazy conspiracies,
falsities, and lies.
Yeah.
When it's not not true, or when it's actively hurting other people, and then you get into the whole conversation of how do you decide which way is which and everything else, and that's we are not the people that can Well,
and also it goes into
come to a conclusion there.
Are you violating that person's First Amendment right? I mean, people can go and say whatever they want. I mean, I think there's definitely a limit to it.
But that right doesn't extend to using other people's platforms, which is which is the thing that I was trying to say, is that yes, you have a First Amendment right to say whatever the hell you want, whenever the hell you want, but you are using. So let's bring it down to a more kind of manageable kind of thing.
Let's put it this way: if Alex Jones were, and we don't know what Alex Jones is up to, we don't care at this point, but let's say has alexjones.com. I assume this is what he's doing. It's probably a Patreon type of thing. You pay $5 a month, you go see all of his shit, you watch his show, and I mean, this is just a theory. Don't take my word for it. I mean, you're welcome to look it up, tell that I'm wrong, but he can't go on YouTube and just be go on a live stream or Twitch or Twitter or that kind of thing.
Well, he has the right to use whatever platform he can to go and do whatever he wants to do, as long as it's within the rules of that platform. So let's take it down to kind of a more manageable level. Let's just say Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Twitter is largely an open platform. Anybody can make a Twitter account. We can make a Twitter account and put out the content that we want to put out on Twitter. And we have a First Amendment right to say what we want to say and say it the way we want to say it and use whatever avenue we can to put that out in front of people. Whether that's talking to people face to face or putting it out on Twitter or putting it on Facebook, whatever, we have the First Amendment right to go and say what we want to say.
Right.
But those platforms and other people, in this case, the way that we were just setting it up, like Twitter also has the right to turn around and go, well, you are actively hurting other people and you are not telling the truth. You are literally just spreading lies for the sake of working up other people and trying to make yourself money. We don't want that on our platform. They have the right to turn around and go and put the kibosh on that.
Yeah.
And in this particular case with Alex Jones and with Twitter and, through that lens, it just so happens that a couple of rather progressive guys agree with Twitter about silencing that particular person. That doesn't mean it's always right for those platforms to do that. That doesn't mean that it's always right to silence a more conservative viewpoint or a viewpoint that I don't necessarily agree with.
Right.
But the same way that it's his right to go and try and use whatever avenues he can use to say what he wants to say, the platforms and the people that come into contact with that content have the right to turn around and go, we don't want that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, how did we get to Alex Jones?
I have no idea. We've been off the rails.
This is, damn.
Crazy. But I think we've indulged for long enough.
Yeah, no.
So I think there's probably as good a place as any to hop into some recommendations. Finish out this lovely episode.
You want to start off, or should I?
Yeah, I'll start off.
I gotta think.
My recommendation this week, if you haven't listened to them, what the hell are you doing with your life? My recommendation this week is Black Sabbath.
That's a lame cop-out.
I've been getting really... How is that a cop-out?
Because everyone has probably heard...
Dude,
everyone knows Black Sabbath.
Well, go back and revisit them because, oh my god, dude. When I was first, getting into, playing guitar and stuff like that, Tony Iommi was a god to me. I wanted his Gibson SG. I wanted to play just, riffs on riffs the way that he does. But I've been doing,
You wanted to get your fingers chopped off.
I wanted to get my fingers chopped off and play with, synthetic tips so that I could get that tone, dude. It's all about that tone. Yeah. But no, Tony Iommi's a god. It's insane that they were able to sound the way that they sounded back in the 70s. They're still so ridiculously heavy. It's so good. It spawned so many other awesome projects. When they got Ronnie James Dio into the mix, they don't have a bad album. They're iconic. They're huge. And if you haven't taken time to listen to Black Sabbath, or if you haven't listened to them in a while, like I have, go back and revisit, because man, it's not just Paranoid and the self-titled album and everything like that. Their entire catalog is awesome. And if you're a guitar freak, like me, Gibson just remade Tony Iommi's red Gibson SG with the monkey sticker on it, and I don't have a spare $8,000 to spend on a piece of mahogany with some strings attached to it, but man, I wish I did.
Gibson, sponsor us.
Yeah, Gibson, please sponsor us and send me a Tony Iommi reissue, or at least a couple of his pickups, because holy crap.
Sponsored by Gibson, Sam Adams, and
the Packy Rum Podcast, brought to you by
and Facebook.
Gibson Guitars, Sam Adams, Facebook, even though we hate them,
and viewers like you.
And contributions by viewers like you. I heard that in the WGBH PBS voice in my head.
That's what I was thinking when I was saying that.
I'm 4 years old again and watching Zoom
or Arthur.
Hey,
Mr. Rogers.
What a wonderful kind of day.
Watching the gay rat wedding.
The gay rat wedding. Oh my god.
That saga.
Hashtag gay rat wedding. There's so much in this episode for people to get mad at. We might as well just finish it with hashtag gay rat wedding.
I mean, that's an old meme though, and I think anyone who's on the Twitter sphere knows that it's just a joke.
True, but still, when we post this episode, I think all of the social media posts are going to have hashtag gay rat wedding. Oh, that's also a fucking sick episode title. Damn it.
What's my recommendation for this week? So for my recommendation this week, what should I even recommend? It's
our new intro song.
Well, I've been doing this actually a lot lately. I've been walking around with socks and sandals better known as Mandals, and they're so comfy. They're very comfy.
You're a living meme.
I would recommend that. And you might be thinking that's not much of a recommendation, but I have been doing this now for 2 weeks, and it's been very comfortable.
I'm going to choose to ignore the fact that you're wearing socks with sandals, and I'm going to say that your recommendation is to go back and listen to your old band Mandals, because that's the only way that I can. That's the only way that I'm okay with this.
I mean, if you want to go listen to Mandals, we still have it up on Bandcamp. It's mandalsct.bandcamp.com. So definitely check that out. It's a shitty demo of a emo band,
but it's the best shitty demo.
I mean, it's a good demo.
So to close, our recommendations this week are Black Sabbath and wearing socks with sandals. We have fully fallen apart.
I haven't fallen apart. You're the one that's falling apart. For a real recommendation, if you're really into and you want to know about the latest in rock music, not Fiona Apple, because I stated several episodes ago how much I hate her new album, and it's the most overrated album of the year. You should consider looking at my, it's New Music 2020. It's by me, Dan Mayotte. It's on my Spotify account, and it has a lot of really good albums and some singles and general collection of things that are noteworthy so far this year. So I guess I gave 3 recommendations because...
Said you gave 3 recommendations because you're Dan Mayotte and you do what you want.
Because I'm a God-given American, and it's my God-given right.
And we're right back where we started.
Yep.
All right, our lovely listeners, we will catch you next week with another episode of the Pack You Run podcast.
Take it easy, and as always, follow us on our social media. It is Pack You Run Pod at Twitter and Instagram. We're not on Facebook because we don't want to be part of the Zuck, because he is
exactly.
yuck.
The Zuck is yuck. And that's all we've got for this week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.